An absolute heartbreaker. Liverpool have won the League Cup. Yeah. Chelsea have been beaten in the final. It went all the way to penalties. But to the victor, the spoils. Congratulations, Loz. That is significant, right?
It's huge in terms of impact on the team. We're watching it. It's behind the camera right now. That basically everyone's been buoyed by that. Hendo's got another cup. Klopp's got another cup. He was talking before the final about the fact that Liverpool will be judged on volume as well as just what the level of achievement is. And I think, a lot of people are padding their trophy cabinets out. So you've got to be, as much as we can talk about achievement in a little while, it was such an evenly contested game. And I'll admit, I think there were a few decisions that went Liverpool's way that could have just tipped it.
Well, the Lukaku goal is what we're effectively talking
Absolutely.
about.
Not only that, but I think, there's an argument. Obviously, on the live show, you're sort of defending your guy, and maybe that's not the best piece of punditry from me, but I do think Naby Keita was at least in for possibly a yellow, maybe a red, with that late tackle.
Yeah, I think that could have gone that way.
It.
Yeah, I think there were various moments. Obviously, Mason Mount had a glorious chance. There were various moments that could have changed it, and I think that Chelsea, despite being defeated, can certainly leave with our heads held high.
Absolutely,
we played very well, but in terms of the significance, I think this is a massive day for Liverpool, of course.
Huge.
It's a terrible day for Chelsea, but do you know who else I think it's a really bad day for? Manchester City.
Right.
Because I think that the wheels are turning now. It's going to whet Liverpool's appetite for more silverware. The data will tell you, if you win the League Cup in February, the chances of you lifting more silverware throughout the season are amplified.
Right.
And Liverpool have a Premier League to think about, a European Cup to think about, and an FA Cup. There's so much more that can happen this season, and this will only amplify Liverpool's hunger for more silverware.
And not only that, I think this Liverpool team, I keep using the word, are defined by persistence. This is a very persistent team and a side who don't relent at any point. And you could see that throughout the game, even though they were absolutely off their feet at the end. This team just kept going. And I think that's kind of the point here, is this is reward for that persistence initially.
Yeah.
They've not won any domestic cups under Jurgen Klopp. They had 2 trophies before then. One was the Premier League. When I say domestic, I mean domestic trophy. You get what I mean. So before that, they had the Premier League and they had the Champions League.
Yeah.
This is something else that sort of adds to that for Liverpool.
It is.
Literally and figuratively.
And obviously the thing that's often thrown at Jurgen Klopp, the 2 trophies in 7 years, suddenly becomes 3 in 7, and then who knows what happens for the rest of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. And not only that, but because City are also judged on volume. A lot of people were talking, when they were talking about, I think it was points per pound or whatever it was, or pounds per point. Then someone said, well, what about per trophy? And I thought, well, are we weighting the Champions League as equally as we are the League Cup?
Yeah.
Are these two things the same? So when you watch this Liverpool side, you think it's persistence, it's consistency that have gotten them to this point. And I've got to admit, from a Chelsea perspective on your channel, we were talking about on the show, I think the disruption you've had this season has undermined a lot of the good work that Tuchel's been doing, and it'll be unfair at this point to sort of throw the baby out the bathwater and say that Tuchel isn't able to get this team over the line.
No, I mean, Tuchel is one of the very few positives at the moment. I mean, I think everybody played and did their bit today. But I think when you look at what Chelsea have at their disposal that is genuinely world class, I don't think there's much. I think Thiago Silva is world class. I think N'Golo Kante is world class. I think Mateo Kovacic is brilliant. Havertz is a big game player, but not consistent enough, but potentially world class.
Mason Mount, Reece James.
Mount, potential.
Is world class. Chilwell is world class.
But
Mendy.
Do you know what is the jewel in the crown? Thomas Tuchel. Tuchel's conduct.
Orienting.
Tuchel's conduct throughout various, we don't even have to go into them, but the way that Tuchel navigates some very rocky terrains at Chelsea, whether it's Lukaku, whether it's anything that's been going on this week, whatever it is, the way that he represents a club and prepares a team for engagement is truly brilliant. And I think that we need to do anything to make sure that he is happy at the club. We've gone head to head with a brilliant Liverpool team. I've said that this Liverpool team are as good as anything that Jurgen Klopp has ever created. I think this team are better than the European Cup winners of 19. I think they're better than the Premier League champions of 20.
Wow.
That's how good I think this team are. You look at the strength in depth, they're sensational. And we're probably unlucky.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We've done really well. So I'm full of pride, but we just weren't quite good enough today.
Thoughts on... I actually thought you were good enough. I think the game's gone against you. I think you haven't had the rub of the green, but I wanted to go on to Kepa.
Yeah, do you think that was the right move?
No, personally. I think there's goalkeepers and there's goalkeepers' mentalities around... Mendy had a good game.
Really good game.
Put money in the bank. Obviously he'd be disappointed to have conceded that goal, but it was offside, so, it was chalked off. Marginal, but still offside. he earned to be able to be in that penalty shootout and basically be the hero.
But do you know what I think happens in these decisions? I think they're made in the week.
Pre-game, absolutely.
They're made in the week. And
Seems
while
unfair,
I agree
doesn't it?
with what you're saying, I feel like it would also be foolish to ignore the preparation through the week. You know, to be pragmatic enough to go, you've had a brilliant game, you're going to stay on. It nullifies your preparation through the week. You have to be true and be a disciple to your planned strategy, don't you?
Then, having said that, it hasn't worked today.
No, it hasn't worked.
That's someone who's bought on because they were a penalty specialist.
Yeah.
And they didn't save one penalty.
And they
Granted,
missed,
they got close.
And they missed the win.
And you know, with the penalty specialist, it's not. Most people think about, oh, well, he knows which way he's going to go. Let's be honest, most goalkeepers do a bit of research, if not a lot of research, before a penalty shootout or a final. So they have a rough idea of where they're going to go. Then it comes down to what's your wrist like, what's your fingertip around the post like. Kelleher and Kepa both had sort of moments where you thought, should have saved that.
Yeah, neither did particularly well in the shootout itself, did they?
But Kelleher's a young goalkeeper,
Yeah.
doesn't cost nearly as much, and he doesn't claim to be a penalty specialist.
But he's probably a better goalkeeper.
Well-rounded in terms of that.
Yeah.
I mean, you saw him today. I think he made some great close saves.
Yeah.
There's a few times where he's moving his body in the correct way. And also his distribution, I think, was great today. I think Kelleher kept the game going for Liverpool. Liverpool were under the cosh a few times, and it's the perception on the field and off the field, which is different to on the field. Liverpool players go for offsides. So when you feel like the momentum's with you, Liverpool players are going, actually, this works really well for us.
Yeah, because
the more
it
you're
draws
on
you
us-
out
exactly.
and you break, yeah.
So Van Dijk and Konate and Matip during the game will have basically been told the reward is every time you get an offside, game's not going against you. Remember that.
Yeah, true. Do you know what? I said it was a massive day for Liverpool with regards and a bad day for Man City. I was saying that because of the Premier League title race and who knows what's going to happen in Europe. Nobody wants to play Liverpool in Europe or anything else, in fact. But do you know what else I've just realised? That win for Liverpool, I think, I haven't researched this, but I think that draws you level. So it was your record. It was your record on all-time League Cups on 8. Man City obviously have won 4 in a row or something crazy. They then took your record. You have now equalised your own record.
Right, well, that's a nice thing to have.
It's nice, though, but these that counts, right?
That makes a big difference.
Yeah, that's big.
Because
it's historic, isn't it?
There's also things where you can be told these things like that the tide is turning, or that you can feel like the tide is turning. So even if at the end of the season you find out it wasn't, that
feels good.
Feeling is important in that moment.
And you look at the way the Liverpool players have been celebrating. You look at the reaction from the fans, the flares going off, the smoke bombs going off. This means something. It's the first time we've won this trophy since 2012.
Absolutely.
This really does mean something. And I think, like I said at the beginning of this video, it's going to whet the appetite.
It's not only that, but I think it's Liverpool fans want to be able to give Jurgen Klopp his flowers.
Yeah.
We realise
Need a bit more. Need a few more trophies, yeah.
This isn't the twilight of most people say you're in the twilight of your career, so you're not going to perform as well. This is the twilight of a tenure here.
Yeah.
And at most points, people go, well, that means they'll be weaker or whatever. He's actually helping rebuild the side. Luis Diaz was in this team.
Mate,
Elliott
he liked to no-look pass in, didn't he?
Mate,
He loved a no-look.
He did a few today as well. I was a bit like, you're right there, mate.
Do you think this will... Do you think you win any more silverware between now and the end of the season?
I think we do, yeah. If I'm honest,
so do I.
I think win or lose today, there's no draw. But win or lose today, I think Liverpool go on and I think we win something this season. It would be such a shame not to mark this team with some silverware.
I am truly gutted. I think it's a sensational competition. I would have loved to have won it. Full credit to Liverpool. Congratulations to Loz. We're going to be doing a video on Loz's channel now, so make sure that you head over there. I'll put the link in the description.
Oh, thank you.
But until then, I really hope you've enjoyed this video. I might do another video tonight, so make sure you subscribe. See you in a bit.